The purpose of Business Debtors Anonymous is to focus on DA issues as they relate to owning a business and to support the vision of being self-employed. In order to keep the focus on our program, we ask that you not read from or mention outside literature in your share. Our speaker, Heather, has come to share her experience, strength, and hope with us in the specific area of the BDA toolkit and the 12 steps of DA. Please welcome Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather, and I'm a debtor. Hi, Heather. Oh my God, I'm so emotional right now. I'm seeing so many familiar faces of people I love in this room. Okay. Yeah, I used to come to this meeting. I've been a member of DA for 14 years, and this was my first meeting when it was over on Wilshire. And I used to sit in the back and just listen to you guys and just soak up the amazing vibe in this room. And it healed me even when I couldn't grasp what you were talking about your vision and self-debting and under-earning and all these words. I just soaked up the feeling in here. So I get so bored with my story. Oh, okay. I get really bored with my story, but I'll tell you because I want you to know that if you know, all of us who are here, we've been where you are, even if it doesn't sound like it. There's no reason I would be here at 8:30 on a Saturday morning if I hadn't been on the floor crying about my credit cards 14 years ago. So, yeah, I had a lot of debt. I had $25,000, $30,000 in debt, something like that, and that felt like impossible at the time. I mean, the miracle now is that doesn't seem like that much money to me now. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it doesn't seem like a catastrophic amount of money. But then it was crushing, and I didn't know how I got there. I just was baffled at how I wound up in this place. I didn't understand that it came from my character defects. It came from how I view myself and how I value myself or don't. And so, you know, the big memory I have is lying on my kitchen floor. I had all these collections agencies calling me. I don't know if they still do this, but my phone was just ringing constantly with collections agencies trying to collect. And this guy was chewing me out on the phone, and I just remember throwing my phone across the kitchen floor and crying. And that's like the big thing that stands out for me of where it started. That's how I got into this room. So that's really all I want to say about that. I got taken to court. I mean, I was sued by one of my creditors. We settled. And that happened 3 years into program. I had been working really hard. I'd been doing everything right. And I share that because sometimes people are like, I'm doing everything right, and it's still so fucking hard. And my experience was just that when you're a debtor, there's a lot of wreckage that you've created, and sometimes it can take a while to work through that. So just know that, you know, for some people overnight it's like life is peachy, and other times it's a bit of a slog. So I got in here, I got a sponsor, I worked the steps, I worked the 12 steps, I got pressure relief groups. If you don't know what these terms mean, just ask somebody. I did my numbers, I went to meetings. I never did any of this perfectly. I've worked this so ridiculously imperfectly, but I've been consistent. I have kept coming back for 14 years. I could go away for months at a time, but I was pretty consistent, you know, and I feel that has been a gift. Also, I was thinking today, I was just like, I remember how bad it was, and do you know, I would go through all of it again in order to be here. Like what I have learned from this program, the gifts that I have received, that the way that I have learned to be in this world, I would go through it all again to know what I know now. You know, to have the gift of encountering this program and the 12 steps of this program. I wouldn't want to try to work through my life without that. I can't even imagine what that would look like at this point. Like everything I do comes out of how I've learned to live. the first, second, especially those first, second, and third steps of turning my will and my life over to the care of a power greater than myself. So, the biggest thing I got from the steps, and that I still get, it's always helpful to go back. Like if I get stuck, I just always go back to step 1. I'm powerless. My best thinking got me here, so I learned not to trust my best thinking. I've learned not to trust my ideas of what works for me, because my idea of what works for me is to not ask for a raise. Thank you. My idea of what works for me is to not ask for more vacation time. That's where I'm at right now. Really don't want to do that. I'm always going to stay really small. That's super comfortable to me. That feels right to me, and I've been taught that it is a virtue to be frugal. And I know that being frugal can be maybe a smart thing sometimes. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I've been taught that that makes me a good person. And I've had to unlearn that because that just isn't helpful to me. I'm a self-debtor, so, we all have different ways of manifesting our weirdness with money, and mine is that I self-debt. And that means I don't value myself in a very profound way, so I don't want to give to myself, I don't want to receive, I don't want to be large, I don't want to manifest whatever it is I'm meant to be doing here. So I have to work really hard at that. I have to check in with my sponsor when I don't buy things, and when I don't buy things consistently. And that's this is what I really wanted to talk about today, because I am so curious right now about why it is that it's such a silly thing, but like when you ask someone in this program, what's fun for you? It's something we often ask in PRGs. What's fun for you? People will either just draw a blank, or they'll get really angry. Yeah. Like, what is that? That's super weird. Or they'll start crying. One of those three, and you can kind of count on it. Like, we all get it. Yeah, like, what is that? It's super powerful, and it comes from this deep, weird place. So I've really been exploring that lately. Like, I've really been like, why am I like this? I mean, I don't even care why I'm like this. I'm like, how can I step into that? Because that just feels frivolous and silly and stupid to me. Like, I want to talk about the steps, and I want to talk about like recovery, but I don't want to talk about what's fun or what's enjoyable. And I was sharing this with a friend. I had dinner with a friend from this program the other night, and I was telling her this, and she had a really good point. She said, maybe fun is just too much for us. Like, maybe just take it a step down and be like, can I just find some unstructured time? Can I just what could I do that has no value whatsoever, that has no purpose, that doesn't demonstrate what a great person I am? Can I just, their example was, can I just go to a pet store and pet a dog? Just what could I do that is just totally pointless but enjoyable? So I'm kind of taking that as my cue of trying to find how to find my way through that. And what I find, here's an interesting thing. So I earn plenty of money now. I have a great income. I paid off my credit cards a long time ago. I have investments. I have a nice prudent reserve. And at a certain point, you keep coming to these rooms and you're like, well, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I here? I mean, yeah, it's great. I have a good job, but what do I want to do? And I've been learning something so great. So I had a vision. I used to have this very clear vision of what I wanted, and I pursued it, and I prayed, and I asked God to give it to me. And And it just didn't happen. My vision was somehow not actually accurate. And I also kind of over time was like, oh, I'm not sure I actually really want this. That's so strange. So I dropped it, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. I was just like, yeah, I'm not sure I even really want this. So I let it go. And I didn't have a vision, and it was so weird. I kept going to work, and I kept going through my life, and I just was like, what do I want to do? And so I used the principles of this program of not trying to figure it out, not trying to determine this is what I'm going to do, but rather to just try and receive from something larger than me what was the right direction for me to go in. Thank you. And I just started to feel my way. So vision is not a helpful word for me, because if I visualize something, there's sort of something about me that's not helpful for me. What's helpful for me is to think of feeling my way into my vision, which is what I've been doing for the last few years. I just kind of what would feel good to do right now? And I started writing. People kept telling me I should write, and I'd always written, but I didn't consider myself a writer. But I was writing, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So I joined a writing group, and I started taking some classes, and I just kept writing, and people would ask me about it. I was like, yeah, it's just this thing. I'm just doing it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. And it's grown into this thing that I love so much. I just love to do it, and I do it all the time, and I'm taking more classes, and suddenly I have stories that I really like, and I'm like, oh, I want people to read them. It's taken on a life of its own, but it's completely outside of my own will and my own ego. And it's still fun. It's still really fun, and I have no idea where it's going to go, if anywhere. But it's just been such a different experience of vision, of just following that bliss, just what feels right, and it has unfolded into something that is just makes my day. I just have so much fun with it, and I enjoy it so much. Now I've run out of things to say. There was something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, this girl was not in this program. This young girl, I was listening to her, and I really wanted to give her advice, but I didn't, because I know that's inappropriate, but I can give it to you. So I really struggled so long with having a prudent reserve. I just couldn't do it. I would save the money, and then I would just take it out of the checking account or the savings account. I just couldn't do it. And I had all these actions on my action list. They would be like, okay, you have to check in with us if you're going to take money out of your prudent reserve. So I would take the money out, and then I would check in with them. And they were like, no, you have to tell us before you take the money out. It was that level of taking from myself, not giving to myself. But what I want to share about prudent reserve is, if you just practice that muscle of just putting away, I swear to God, $5, $10, $25, just setting it aside and letting it sit there, it takes on a life of its own. It starts to grow, and it starts to be this thing that you get really excited about, and you're just like, oh my God, look at it growing. It's hard, it takes a while, but it does at a certain point become something that's enjoyable and easy and fun. But it took years. It took years and years and years for me to get to that point. And even now, I'm it's always something that I'm working towards, or something I'm, trying to remember to take care of myself in that way. So, yeah, the biggest thing that I think I've learned is to connect to my higher power. And that means different things for everyone. Everybody has a different experience of that. For some people, it's a connection to nature. For some people, it's connecting with the people in these rooms. For some people, it's the goddess. For some people, it's God. whatever it is that's larger than me, larger than my little brain, like plugging into that and accessing that and coming from a place of, and doing that with my money. That's really, like, I can do that in all kinds of areas, but to do that with my job, with asking for a raise, with opening an IRA, with asking for more vacation time, like that's where the thing that kills me right now is I need to do it, and oh my God, I don't want to do it, but I can't do it alone. I can never do it. I have to receive that strength from something bigger than me, and then check in with people in this program and say, hey, I can't do this. I got to do this, and I can't do it, and I'm going to do it today. And okay, I didn't do it yesterday, I'm going to do it today. And then, oh yeah, I did it. So, thank you.